We do so much driving that it's easy to forget how dangerous it can be. Each year, accidents claim over 1 million lives worldwide, almost 40,000 in the U.S. alone, as well as resulting in millions of serious injuries. Most accidents can be prevented. You can avoid trouble on the road if you approach your driving with the right skills, a well-maintained vehicle, and the right attitude. And here's more good news. You can start being a safer driver even before you put the key in the ignition. Are you ready to drive safely? Before you answer that, ask yourself if your vehicle is ready, because keeping your car in good mechanical condition is key to preventing trouble on the road. Annual state inspections will help you with this, and so will following the service schedule recommended by your vehicle's manufacturer. But your vehicle also has some critical parts that you should pay attention to regularly. Tires keep your vehicle securely on the road. Check their condition, keep them inflated to the recommended air pressure, and replace them as needed. Put a tire pressure gauge in your glove box if you don't already have one. Windshield wipers keep your windshield clean and help you to see in bad weather. Make sure the blades are in good shape and clear the windshield effectively. Remember to keep the washer fluid topped off too. Brakes enable you to control your speed and stop. If you notice any unusual noise or vibration when you're braking or have difficulty stopping, get them checked immediately and repaired if necessary. Don't forget about emergency supplies. All vehicles should have basic equipment on board. Today, many cars come with run-flat tires. But if you have a compact or a full-size spare, make sure it is properly inflated and that you have a tire iron and jack. Then put together a kit that includes a snow brush and ice scraper, warning indicators such as flares or flashing lights, jumper cables, an emergency blanket or two, a small shovel, and a flashlight. The next question to ask yourself before setting out is, have I prepared for this trip? Start by adjusting your vehicle for comfort and safety. Position your seat so that it provides good back support. Be sure that your feet can easily reach the pedals, and test operating them. Set your rear and side view mirrors to minimize blind spots. If you're driving a rental or a company vehicle that you aren't used to, take some time to locate the important controls and figure out how they work. Familiarize yourself with the vehicle's handling. Try out the steering. See how much stopping distance you need at various speeds. Remember, larger vehicles and those with heavy loads require more distance and take longer to stop. If you are driving a gasoline-powered vehicle, stop in at the gas station and fill her up. Check the oil while you're at it, and if you haven't already, the tire pressure too. If you have an electric vehicle, you will still want to check the tire pressure and make sure your battery has an adequate charge. The batteries in these vehicles are particularly sensitive to heat and cold, so you want to check the coolant levels as well. After all of this, you'd think that you should be ready to drive safely. But you still may not be if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Even one drink can slow your reflexes and impair your judgment. Many drugs can do the same. In fact, more than half of all fatal accidents involve drugs or alcohol. You also can't say that you're ready to drive safely if you're not wearing your seatbelt. Being in an accident at 30 miles per hour without a seatbelt is like hitting the ground after falling off a 3-story building. Wearing a seatbelt doubles your chances of surviving. Most of us seem to assume that safe driving has become second nature and go into autopilot when we get into the driver's seat. But it's easy to forget some very important things. So let's take a look at some of the basics of driving safety. Road signs help you avoid problems by warning you of the conditions ahead, so you know what to expect and can be ready for it. So pay attention to them. Make sure you know the posted speed limits. They take the road's specific conditions, visibility, and traffic patterns into account. Going any faster may not be safe. Also, the faster you go, the less time you have to react and the more space you need to stop. A dangerous combination. So when you're in traffic, create a safety cushion between yourself and the vehicles around you. Having this space will help you to maneuver safely in an emergency. Begin by determining what the following distance should be between you and the vehicle ahead of you. When it passes a landmark like a tree or telephone pole, count how many seconds it takes before you reach that same point. If it's less than 3 seconds, slow down and back off. You're too close. If you run into a challenging condition like heavy traffic, you need to adjust your following distance by adding another second to your count. If it's raining or snowing, add 2 more seconds. If another driver cuts in front of you, slow down until you once again have a safe distance between yourself and that vehicle. You also need to allow plenty of side space in your safety cushion. Staying in the center of your lane will help. Check your mirrors regularly to keep track of traffic behind you as well. What should you do when you want to pass another vehicle? First, make sure it's safe and legal to pass. Look at the lines in the middle of the road. Solid lines mean that you can't see far enough to pass safely, so don't try. Also, if you see a sign that says, "Do not pass," don't pass. The sign is there for a reason. When you get to where you can pass, remember to look before you leap. Check the road ahead and behind to make sure there's enough room. Before you pull out, use your turn signal to tell other drivers what your intentions are. When you pass, pass quickly. Don't linger in the other driver's blind spot. If you can't see them in their side mirror, they can't see you either. But don't cut off the vehicle that you're passing by merging back into their lane too soon. Wait until you can see both of their headlights in your rearview mirror, then signal and pull back in. Sharing the road with cars is pretty straightforward. But when you're with other types of vehicles, it pays to remember how easily we miss seeing things that we're not looking for. That's why more than half of fatal motorcycle accidents involve vehicles driven by people who just didn't see the bike. Even when you are aware that there are motorcycles in the vicinity, they're small enough to disappear into your blind spots or behind other vehicles. A motorcycle's smaller size can also make it difficult to judge both how far away it is and its speed. Stay on the safe side by assuming that it's closer and going faster than it appears to be. The small compact cars that are being made nowadays are bigger than motorcycles, but not by much. As a result, they share many of the same problems in traffic. So you need to keep your eyes peeled for them too, particularly in the city. Be alert and drive carefully in their vicinity. At the other end of the scale are trucks, RVs, and buses. They are longer, wider, and heavier than cars, and have bigger blind spots too. A tractor-trailer can weigh up to 80,000 pounds and at 50 miles an hour requires at least 300 feet to brake to a standstill. To share the road safely with large vehicles, allow extra following distance when you're behind one. Following closely robs you of reaction time because you won't know anything's happening until the truck's brake lights go on, and that could be too late. Following too closely also makes it difficult for the truck driver to see you. You will probably be in one of his blind spots, a place you really don't want to reside. If you can't see the side mirrors on a truck's cab, then you're invisible to its driver. Stay back far enough that you both can see the big picture. Another problem that following large vehicles can create is not being able to see traffic lights and road signs. They often seem to pop up right over a truck's body, and you can have little time to react to what they're telling you. One extra large vehicle that deserves special attention is a school bus. School buses transport large numbers of children. They constantly stop and start to pick kids up and drop them off. And the children often dart across the road to get to and from the bus. That's why specific traffic laws apply when you're sharing the road with a school bus. If you encounter a school bus on a two-lane road and the bus is stopped with its red lights flashing, you must stop as well, whether you're behind the bus, approaching it from the other direction, or on an intersecting road. On 3- or 4-lane roads, state laws vary, but most states require that traffic in all directions still stop, unless there is a median or guardrail dividing the highway. In that case, oncoming traffic can keep moving, but traffic behind the bus must still stop. Once you have stopped for a school bus, you must wait until it turns off its flashing lights and retracts any swing arms before you start moving again. It's a fact, driving is more dangerous at night. Even though there are fewer vehicles on the road, that's when more than half of all accidents happen. So slow down and use your headlights. You should switch your headlights on when the light begins to fade at dusk, as well as in gloomy weather. Not only do they help you see what's ahead, they make it easier for other drivers to see you as well. But don't overdrive your headlights by going too fast. You'll make it difficult to react quickly enough to what you can see. Using your high beams can extend your reaction time a bit, so keep them on as much as possible. But even with them, you'll still want to maintain a moderate speed. Remember too that your high beams can blind the drivers of the vehicles in front of you. A good rule of thumb is to switch to low beams when the spray of your lights reaches that of oncoming vehicles, or when it reaches the bumper of a vehicle that you're following. Your high beams can blind you too if you turn them on in fog or snow. In fact, bad weather can pose a number of special challenges. If you're going to drive safely in bad weather, you have to be prepared. So before you set out, get the weather forecast as well as information on road conditions and any delays you may encounter. Plan your trip accordingly and think about alternate routes you can use just in case. You should also allow yourself extra travel time. Before you leave, clear any snow and ice off your vehicle's windows and all its lights and turn signals as well. Wet and snowy weather makes the road slippery, so keep your speed down and increase your following distance. In bad weather, you also need to apply your brakes sooner when coming to a stop, as well as slow down before you get to turns and curves. And remember to depress the brake pedal slowly and gradually. As if driving a big vehicle at a high rate of speed isn't challenging enough, even an average car weighs 3,000 pounds. Many drivers today simply aren't paying attention to what they're doing. They're what we call distracted drivers. Common distractions behind the wheel include talking and texting on a cell phone, eating and drinking, putting on makeup, adjusting the sound system, and talking to passengers, especially children. Fortunately, there are steps you can take before you hit the road to help you avoid distractions. To start, finish dressing, applying makeup, and doing other grooming before leaving the house. Pre-record a message on your cell phone telling callers that you're on the road and will call them back later. Then turn the phone off and stow it out of reach. You should pre-program your GPS and review the navigation as well. Preset your car radio and preload playlists too. Before you turn the key, ensure that kids and other passengers are seated and buckled up, and that pets are secured as well. When you're on the road, you can't allow yourself to do anything that forces you to take your eyes off the road, your hands off the wheel, or your mind off your driving. Instead, remember this: when in doubt, pull over. If you have to deal with a kid's issue or you want to check your email or make a call, pull over and stop. In town, just pull into a parking space. On the highway, pull over onto the shoulder or in the breakdown lane. And remember to put on your emergency flashers. But what should you do when you find yourself sharing the road with a distracted driver? First, be careful. Assume that they don't see you. Pull ahead or drop behind to give them a wide berth. Above all, stay focused on your own driving. Road rage is another problem that we're seeing more and more of. Each year there are thousands of reports of road rage. Drivers yelling at one another, making obscene gestures, even using their vehicles like weapons. To prevent yourself from becoming part of the problem, be polite and courteous, even when other drivers aren't. Don't retaliate. Give other drivers the benefit of the doubt. And remember, driving isn't a contest. If an angry driver starts harassing you, rule number 1 is never make eye contact. Angry drivers see this as a challenge, and it just increases their rage. Instead, try to get away from them as quickly and safely as possible. Leave the road that you're on if necessary. If they follow you, take the threat seriously. Stay on well-traveled roads. Then drive to the nearest police station, find a police officer, or call 911. No matter how careful you are, accidents will happen. If you're involved in one, you need to stay calm. First, turn off your engine and turn on your flashers. Don't try to move your vehicle unless you're in immediate danger. Check any other vehicles that were involved. If anyone is injured, do not move them. You may do more harm than good. Instead, call for medical assistance. Never leave the scene of an accident. Even if you only walk away, it's a hit and run, and you can be arrested for it. Contact the police immediately. Call 911, or if that's not possible, have a passerby do it for you. Be ready with your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. You'll need to give this information to the police and exchange it with other drivers as well. And don't forget to call your insurance company. If the accident happened while you were working or in a company vehicle, you should also report it to your supervisor. Driving safely requires thinking ahead, being proactive, and doing things that can help you avoid dangerous situations on the road. Let's review. Make sure your car is well maintained. Always wear a seatbelt. Never drive under the influence. Maintain a safety cushion around your vehicle with at least a 3-second following distance. Watch out for smaller vehicles and use caution when sharing the road with trucks, RVs, and buses. Reduce speed and be especially careful at night and in bad weather. Don't let yourself get distracted or angry while you're driving, and know how to cope with drivers who are. If you're involved in an accident, remain calm and call the police. Never leave the scene. The driver's seat doesn't have to be a dangerous place. If you bring the proper attitude, preparation, and knowledge behind the wheel with you, you can travel safely.